Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting edition of KD Live. I'm Dwayne Rains, VP of Sales at Key Digital, and I've got my buddy here, Jonathan Ferry, our Vice President of Product Education and Experience. Jonathan, welcome back.
Thanks very much, Dwayne. It took some recovery time after that show. It was a good old-fashioned trade show, hey?
Absolutely. Well, we're talking about InfoComm 2023 that Jonathan and I are freshly back from. We had Leon joining us there this time. Had a great time, and it was very busy, as Jonathan was talking about. It was finally feels like the InfoComm is back. 2019 was the last full one, before COVID, and the last couple of years have been not quite as strong as we'd like, but we were very, very busy, and I think you would agree we had great attendance. I don't think we stopped all 3 days. I mean, they
No.
were turning the lights out. We still had people in the booth wanting to see stuff.
I could tell you one guy who never stopped and talking, that is, and that was you, Dwayne.
Oh, I did.
Unfor
When my voice went away, that's when I stopped talking because I lost my voice totally the second day at the end of
That's right. You had to pay the piper there, man, for the ailing pipes. So
well,
yeah,
I've ordered my bottle of Entertainer Secret, so I've got it's going to be in my pack from now on.
there you
So if that
go.
ever happens again.
Yeah,
But
that's smart. Yeah, we're back. We're back.
yeah, it
So
was great. We had lots of good meetings and good after show things and whatnot. QSC had their party, and we've got some exciting news coming on that front too. We'll talk about here in a little bit.
very good, very good. Yeah, I put together a little show highlights package for us. So for those of you who came by our booth, you'll recognize these smiling faces from in-person booth visits, perhaps. There was between the increase of coverage of our products in the InfoComm Daily. That is very exciting. We had coverage of our KDWP8-2, which once again is a product that's just about ready to have the QSC QSys plugin module released, or plugin released. You see there myself and my trusted right and left hand men's that's Dwayne and Leon, who is our business development manager, if I'm not mistaken, right, Dwayne?
Absolutely. And as we go through these slides, folks, you'll notice the QR code. So if you want to see some videos from this one in particular is the tour of the booth. Later on, we'll have links to some of our video case studies. So make sure you click on these as you watch this episode of KD Live. But yeah, Leon Sinberg was there with us. He was out working the aisle and bringing in some really good people for us to visit with, and just really good. We just never stopped, and it was just a lot of fun. Our location was great. Our partners with HD Base T is always fun with those guys, and just as you can see the booth there in the background, and it was just a very busy, very exciting. And if you missed it, well, we're going to show you what you missed.
That's right, including starting with these new product launches. One of the big releases for us was our new second generation 4K AV over IP encoder and decoder, KD-IP922 ENC-2 and KD-IP922 DEC-2. If you've worked with our 4K AV over IP systems before, you may already be familiar with the 922s. And there is one new hardware update on these, which is that the encoders now have, it's a little hard to see perhaps, but we now have a Toslink optical audio de-embed on the encoder side. And the other thing that we've updated with the 922-2 is, well, we've gone ahead and we've made some changes with the manufacturing, updated chipsets, etc., and that allowed us to release these products at a considerable amount of savings over the previous generation of the 922s. Dwayne, would you like to add anything more on that?
Absolutely. And that's very exciting about the digital audio de-embedding there on the encoder. And so for our residential partners, they'll like that ability to come right off that encoder into an AVR, et cetera. But yeah, as you mentioned, considerable cost savings over the previous version of 922. And we've kind of combined all the features, and we no longer have the 822 and 922 combination where you decide what you want. So we were able to get the price point down. And so everything is all combined now. So there's no longer the 822, it's all 922s. Everything's in there, all the control ports, the audio de-embedding with the addition of the digital audio de-embedding, the USB connectivity, it's all in there. It says coming soon down there on that decoder -2, but it's here. It's Jonathan missed that on his slide there. It was coming soon as of a week or two ago when we're filming this, but no, it's live and in person now. So get your orders in. We've had them flying out lately. So there you go. Hot off the press. Shipping now.
How do you like it? Very good. The next thing we have, let's stop the annotation and resume here, is some new video processors in the marketplace. Next generation video processors. Our KD MLV 4x4 Pro. Now, you've actually, perhaps if you're a regular to viewing our KD Live episodes and perhaps Coffee with Key, you may already be familiar or been introduced to it. The KD MLV 4x4 Pro, it's the first time we have a real 4x4 matrix with multi-viewer capability. So just imagine, we hear a lot of times on the residential side, for example, that selling a traditional matrix switcher is becoming more and more of a challenge as the sources are built into the displays nowadays, or a standard source like a Apple TV is just so small and cost effective that you can have them located at each TV. And hey, I'm all for simplicity, but what about for your clients where you can have your 4x4 matrix and then as a virtual input, they could select input number 5 there and watch all 4 things at the same time. We're talking about those customers that are big sports fans, for example, and want to watch all 4 football games on a Sunday afternoon. We're talking about gamers that, kids bring have their friends come over with their own consoles and they're all hanging out together, but they're doing their gaming in their own quadrant on the screen. And we're talking about some real nice commercial applications as well with the MLV that we heard all about at InfoComm, using these with LED walls for huge, large format video walls. You take a single screen and you've created a video wall out of it. Of course, you could do the full screen layout, filling that entire LED wall, or you could break that into up to 4 different windows there in any of the layouts, or creating your own custom layouts. So that was very well received. And Dwayne, you want to talk about the VW?
Well, I will talk a little bit about the MLV before I switch over to the VW as well. You mentioned, yes, you can watch 4 games on a single screen, but you can also have 2 or 3 more displays because this is a 4x4. So you can run quad view, as we're talking about, on the big screen in your AV room. But then in the other room, you can run any one of the sources in full screen at the same time as you're running the quad view in the multi-view room.
Yeah.
So really robust. Plus, we've on the LED walls, we've actually had dealers and integrators do projects where they used multiple MLVs, 2 feeding another one to do 8 sporting events, or 2 giant side by side, or 5. It's really, really robust full product, all in a single rack space. Now, the VW 4x4, I always tell people it's the 90 or 180 degree opposite of the MLV, where the MLV puts 4 images on a single screen. Here with the VW 4x4, and you can see the different layouts, you can put 1 image across 4 screens. So it's a 2x2 video wall processor, but it can be a 4x1, 1x4, 3x1, etc., or even run 2 2x1s. And so it's really amazing. And both of these units have both HDMI and our UHD over twisted pair outputs over cat cable with the receivers that come in the box. So you could technically run 2 video walls in mirror, two 2x2s. You could run 8 displays off of the MLV 4x4. So very robust, both of which can be used as seamless 4x4 matrices as well. Either unit can, but between the two, they can do all kinds of things. And if you'll scan that little QR code there, you'll see a demo video or a video case study we did. It's really cool at the Midtown Global Market up in Minneapolis, where they're using the MLB 4x4 to feed 2 screens back to back in a big giant kiosk. And that's an 86-inch screen. So it's huge. Looks amazing. So check that out as well.
Yeah, that's a good video. Now, on our extender front, we have a new HD-based T extender kit, the KD-XPS22U. This is a really, this is a transmit and receive kit that's just, it's fully loaded. So this is going to be a great solution for UCC spaces where you could have the transmitter located under the table, and you could have 1, 2 HDMI cables coming up the table, because that's what the first 2 and the model number 22 stands for. The second 2 is that you have a HDMI pass-through port, so you can connect a local monitor. Perhaps if you have it located at a podium, for example, for the presenter, you could have a presenter's confidence monitor there. And the other output is HD-based T, of course, leading you to your receiver. You also notice a variety of USB connectivity here, where your USB devices such as webcams or conferencing mic speaker DSPs can plug into the to one end and the host on the other end, and it's one or the other. So there's just a little slide switch for that. We even have folks using these in residential cases where they just want to connect both gaming consoles on the transmit side, and it's app ready, so they can open up their iOS app on their iPhone or their iPad, switch from the PS5 over to the Xbox One, and it even supports audio return channel, where we have a real unique way of breaking it out on the transmit side, breaking it out on those audio connectors there, either the analog or the digital, so that you don't have to rely on the CEC and one brand doesn't want to play well with the other brand. We take care of all that for you. Just break it out on analog or digital, connect that into your amplifier or surround receiver, and you're good to go.
Another thing I'd like to talk about on this unit, Jonathan, before we move on, is on the commercial side. This unit, paired with our KD cam, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, as well as our BYOD wireless presentation gateway, makes an amazing huddle space conferencing system. I mean, that's all you need. And we do have integrators putting it in just that way. With 3 SKUs, you've got wireless and wired connectivity, because you got the 2 HDMIs, our wireless presentation gateway going in the second HDMI, and you've got the USB connectivity to bring the camera all the way back. So you walk in with your laptop, plug in, you're off to the races, and you're online.
Yeah, 100 meters away. Very good. Great points, Dwayne. And that brings us to another set of product releases, sister products, if you will. The X444LP and the X444SP, long range 4K 18G extender on the LP, and then a standard range 50-meter extender kit on the SP. These are our real go-to extenders now. Products that have been out there for some time, but just for the folks at InfoComm seeing them for the first time. And let me tell you, they've been rock solid out there. These are
workhorses. These are workhorse extenders.
That's right. And the way I've talked to a few people about it is, we put a lot of consideration into this when we did our beta testing. We called some folks and they said, yeah, I've got some haunted job sites that if these things are as good as you say they are, then let's go ahead and bring them out to these haunted job sites. And so far, hold on, Dwayne, I'll be right back. I have to knock on wood. So far, everything's been
right here. That's all
yeah, there you go. Everything's been going really well with them. So the LP just gives you the advantage of having the additional 20 meters, also having an HDMI pass-through port. So if you do need to go into a local monitor or amplifier, you're able to do that at the transmitter location. Both of these have flexible POC, so you could connect your power on either the transmitter or the receiver side, whatever's most convenient to you.
Absolutely, and that comes into play so well, because sometimes you don't have any more room in the rack, but you got plenty of room behind the display, etc., to put your power in. So, but again, can't say enough about these things. Have been so good, and we're so proud of these. And so if you haven't tried these, the 444 SP or LP, and the pricing is amazing on them, so check them out.
Very good. So from the new product launches to the live demos, it was a really cool booth, because we had everything put into one place where it looked a little like this, but although we had two displays side by side. We had our cam USB mounted above the monitors. We had our TOA, our partner's product, the TOA Lanubio, and that created one of the many demos we showed at the booth, which was the Lacambio system. And if you haven't seen this video yet, why don't I have the Lacambio video on here? I really should. The system works together with our Compass Control Pro behind the scenes, parsing the Lanubio for the mic beam steering status from the 8 microphone array that's inside of the soundbar, and it tells us what the direction is, the directionality of the speaker. And we take that information from the Lanubio, we parse it through Compass Control, and we can send preset commands to the camera so that we can move it to the desired preset based on where that speaker is speaking from. So throughout the meetings, we had, I think, maybe 4 presets where Dwayne would speak, and we'd see the microphone move over his direction. He'd pass the hot potato over to me, if you will. I'd start speaking, and then we'd invite the customers to say a few words, and the camera would move over to them, just demonstrating that. And really, it creates a nice solution that, with our Cam USB, which is quite a simplistic camera, but it adds this, it basically, you integrate to make it even more powerful than it really is, which is what's really so cool, and adds more value, because you turn it in almost to like an auto PTZ camera that way.
Absolutely. And people are like, wow, I can't believe you guys are doing this kind of live demo in a trade show, because InfoComm is one of the hardest places to do a demo like that, because there's so much going on, and it performs so well, which is just goes to a testament. If you can do that on a live trade show floor,
Yeah.
and have it track the speakers right there, because we can limit the distance as far as how you want it to react. And so you can imagine, you put it in a conference room with a much more controlled audio situation, how well it will work. And you definitely want to check out, when you get on our YouTube channel and some of these other videos, check out that Lacambio video. And it's been a lot of fun. We actually recorded it a couple of years ago. This is something that our software developers rewrote Compass to do, to work, in between. You may have said that, Jonathan. I was actually getting something going up on the BYOD behind me. So,
No,
but anyway, it's really a lot of fun, and just shows how we play well with others, because the Lanubio is not our product; it's a TOA product, as you mentioned, and but we work well together.
That's right. Dwayne, can you say one more word or so? Just filibuster a little bit there, because
Absolutely. And so anyway, as we were talking about the MLB a while ago, that is what's running in the background here that you see behind me. So if you can see that in my small window, you can see that as we go, because I have that running in my demo rig here in my office. So hopefully, Jonathan, I don't have to having to tell jokes, because then we start losing viewers. But I have some if we need to. So
I'm sure you do, buddy. Let's see here. Nope, I think we're just about ready to resume with this new message, new QR
There we go.
code right here, so everybody can go ahead and enjoy that
This
video.
is KB Live. Did you see that? He just put the QR code right there to go straight to the Lacambio video, so you don't have to search it on the YouTube channel.
The
So scan
magic
it
of
before we leave this slide. We'll give you a couple more seconds while you're watching here to scan it, and then we're going to move on to the next part of the show.
the magic of live television. And we want to thank our partner over at TOA for their generosity of contributing a unit to our booth. Thank you very much, folks. That brings us, speaking of control, that brings us to the KD WP8-2 8-button control keypad, where this -2 model, the second generation, adds one IR and one RS-232 port that is built in. Those ports are built in right here in case you can't see them. And of course, you have an unlimited amount of IP controllability because it is a IP control keypad. It could send those commands, those TCP/IP or UDP commands right over the network. You program it over a web UI, very, very simple, PoE powered. So just connect it into a PoE injector if you don't have a PoE network, but most folks do have a PoE network. If you need to add more IR ports, more than one IR, one RS-232, then you can integrate it with any of our master controllers or control expansion units, our 4K AV over IP encoders and decoders. And the people that are doing the classrooms loved the 2-button combo lock or unlock. You could, in the web UI, you can set any 2 buttons, you press and hold those for like 5 seconds, it can lock the keypad. So you don't have any of your, let's say the folks doing K through 12 don't have any mischievous students controlling the room.
Not that we would have ever done that, Jonathan, when we
Oh
were.
gosh. Yeah, well that's, you got to step inside the mind of a criminal,
Exactly. Well, this what's amazing, this is the WP8-2, so this is our second iteration of our WP8. And what's been so much fun to watch is how many different ways this gets used for control, whether it's just doing simple control or controlling our AV over IP equipment or anything, because it's unlimited on the IP control. And with the addition of the one IR port and one RC32 port to the -2 model, makes it more robust. We can always expand it with our own controllers, but right there, one single gang plate, and you've got all this control. You've got all these icons. You can program, you probably mentioned it, 10 commands on a single button push down and 10 up, so 20 commands on a single button. It's just amazing. PoE powered, of course, but it's just being used all over the place for all kinds of things. And as you mentioned, we got that QSys plugin now that is like, by the time people see this, will already be active, and we're excited about that. QSC has been recommending this for well over probably 1.5 to 2 years now. Anyway, even without the plugin being written, because it is so versatile and so easy to program and use.
That's right. That's right. Well said, Dwayne. And we also demonstrated our KD BYOD 4K wireless presentation system, where we invited you, if you have an iPhone or to join our network and begin presenting. We showed you what it was like when Dwayne was presenting from his phone, and I was presenting from my phone at the same time. Even we also went ahead. So this is the unit. You guys might recall having seen this. We also went ahead and connected the USB auto launcher into the computers at the conference room table of our booth, auto launching the software, demonstrating how there's no installation required even through this method, or even if you do download the application from the unit itself, you could do that as well. And it's very clearly outlined in these 1, 2, 3 instructions that we see here, the instructions of how to go ahead and cast using AirPlay if you're iOS, or using KD Play from your other platforms, and Chromecast from your Chrome devices.
They should call that Chrome Play. I don't understand.
Get with it, Google.
But anyway, you know what's always amazing, and I love it when people see the BYOD 4K for the first time, and they see how easy it is to get on the screen. And my bottom quadrant behind me there, you can see that video of us. That's playing off my cell phone right now. That's what's looping onto the BYOD, feeding the MLV, and it's just so easy. And as we mentioned, any type of device on the screen at the same time. So we just love this piece, and we keep using it in so many different ways.
Yeah. So, and there we are. If we had multiple presenters, and what was really impressive is that we were truly integrating all this. This is how the stuff, you could sell these things one at a time, just a control keypad, just a camera, just a wireless presentation, or you could sell a whole system and integrate it easily with our Key Digital iOS app, for example, our Compass Control Pro, or even our 8-button keypad. We give you so many options for how the user is going to control this, just depending on their various form factor or level of control over third-party devices they need. And we showed all of that with our UCC, Unified Communications and Collaboration System, where the camera's USB 2.0 signal was flowing backward towards the presenting computer, with the AV flowing this direction. It wasn't just the camera, it was even the TOA Lanubio soundbar that was also flowing along with the camera signal into the laptops. Just come and connect your AV, connect your USB. And we have a whole brochure on this on our website. This Unified Communication and Collaboration Solutions brochure is available under the resources section of our webpage. Yet another QR code I have missed the opportunity to add.
I was going to say, where's that QR code, Jonathan? Come on. You got 5 seconds. Get it up there. But anyway, so yes, absolutely. And this is, we commonly refer to this as our conference room in a box, because it is a complete. You're looking at it right there. That's a complete conference room system. Camera, switcher, the wireless presentation, audio amp, everything built in. Bring your own laptop and bring your own meeting, and we don't care what the codec is. It can be Zoom like we're doing here, Teams, GoToMeeting. There's some old names up there too in those logos, but it doesn't matter. We're agnostic to the codec, which it's changed the world in the last few years of how simple meetings can be, and we make it even easier with our conference room in a box philosophy.
That's right, Dwayne. That is right. And here we are. Let's go ahead and resume the share.
He couldn't pass up on the challenge.
No, definitely not. Very cool. So it was a great time. And we even, we didn't have our AV over IP systems on display, but it was funny. If you saw these videos, Dwayne was actually casting these from his phone, as he's doing in the bottom right corner of the multi-view behind him. And this is exactly how we integrate AV over IP into the demonstration, to make sure you understand that Key Digital is not just a one-trick pony. We are a full solutions provider, because, for a lot of people there on the floor, it was their first introduction to Key Digital, for example. Wow, that's great. You can actually, we were watching the video there. It's probably smoother than if we were watching, if we hit play on the YouTube video. So we've got some really great case study videos. This one's been up for a little bit. This is approximately 20 by 50 system at a Pig Beach barbecue, AV over IP with Compass Control Pro. We see that LED wall back there.
Got an LED wall outside, 3x2 video wall behind the bar inside, and really, really nice case study. And these guys are on their 7th restaurant with this layout right now, with all of our stuff completely controlled with Compass. And then we have other video case studies, which this one here is actually using our free KD app, not Compass Control. They're running this entire 20 by 23 AV over IP system with our free app, including the audio because they're using an extra decoder for audio only, so they can choose any source and then actually control the volume of that output into their audio system.
That's so smart. So
Yeah.
smart. Just add one decoder. Now you could listen to any of those cable boxes, any Apple TV that's in the system, instead of just designating one as your Apple TV or your cable box that you could listen to in your amplifier.
And this is a case study we were talking about before. You can see that MLV in operation right there behind John Peterson. And that's back-to-back kiosks there for wayfinding. They've got digital signage feeding it. They've got commercials and all of that. And so check that one out too. Hit that QR code and go see that, because really neat place, global, Midtown Global Market, really neat story behind it. So check out that video as well.
Yeah, good product, great product, great project to be a part of. So that's the recap there, everybody. For 2023, InfoComm show is a wrap. We'll be seeing you all
in Las Vegas. The even years are always in Vegas, baby.
We got to break even, right?
Well, that never happens. So
too bad we weren't there this year for the Stanley Cup final, huh?
That's true. The last time I was not the last time I was in Vegas, but the last real InfoComm in Vegas, 2018. That's when they were in the Stanley Cup, you remember, and they lost that last night of InfoComm.
I do remember. Yeah. The Washington Capitals had a good old time in Vegas that night.
They did. So, but we'll see everybody there next year in Las Vegas. And but check out everything. If you have any questions, reach out to sales@keydigital.com, and we'll be happy to help you out. And don't forget our free system design group. And so if you're not completely up to date on what our stuff does and how to design it, we'll do that for you at no charge.
That's right. Well, Dwayne, thanks for doing this, buddy.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. I'm glad I got my voice back, and glad you survived the cold weather in Orlando. And so,
yeah, buddy. Yep. We need those pipes working on you. So good job.
Well, everyone, we'll see you next time on KD Live. And for Jonathan